Welcome back to another reaction video, Venza reaction video, to look at hospitality industry news, and get some feedback, get some raw feedback from some of the best and brightest in the industry. So joining us today, I've got Iris and Josías. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your company. Iris, why don't you start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Iris Steinmetz. I'm VP of Product and Partnerships, actually, in SnapShot, a CG Group brand, and we're into hospitality analytics. We have a platform and loads of connectivity.
Fantastic. Love to see you. Thanks for joining.
Pleasure.
Josías.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. So I'm Josías de la Espada. I'm with Pirsonal. We help our clients increase sales and engagement through personalized multimedia marketing, automatically and in a scalable way. And glad to be here.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is it's a great pleasure to have you both here and volunteer to be victims of. You have no idea what article we're going to throw at you, but to get your raw feedback, and always joining us from HQ back in Atlanta, Sean Shields.
Hola.
Hey there, Sean. Good to have you. So Sean's going to share with us an article and just get your feedback on this article. So this was in today. This was in CNN. Travelers behaving badly. Is conduct of tourists getting worse? So one of the things we've heard a lot about, especially here in the Netherlands, we hear a lot of concerns about over tourism. Amsterdam being an area that there's a lot of hand wringing about what to do. Is it a blessing or is it a curse to have all of the tourists descending upon Amsterdam? Josías, are you where in Spain are you? In Barcelona?
I'm near Madrid.
Near Madrid. Okay.
Yeah, love
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Also has been in the news quite a lot. We had another reaction video talking about an Indonesian island that there's a lot of concern about the eco impact of all the tourists and some of the things that they're doing. This article is talking about a couple that were doing rather risque things in the middle of a temple in Bali, and so there's people proposing to have codes of conduct for tourism. What do you think of this kind of notion? Is somehow badly behaving tourists reflection on the hotels themselves, the hospitality industry? What are your thoughts around badly behaving tourists? Why don't we start with you, Iris?
Sure.
Why don't you jump in?
I think in certain areas we've seen this a lot already in the past, like certain destinations, like Mallorca or in Bulgaria, some of the beaches or whatnot, where a lot of people would go to for a party, for example. We've seen this for years already. I think what has changed is that with the increase, for example, of cruises, where a certain destination will have a lot more tourists in a certain time period, the increase in social media, where sometimes it becomes more important to have a good Instagram photo than really enjoying the situation, that moment. I think from there we've seen a shift in what customers are expecting or holidaymakers are expecting from their vacation, and often how willing they are to adapt to their surroundings. So do they really want to experience the culture, or do they want to have something from the moment to be able to show their friends, to show on social media or whatnot?
Yeah.
And I think that will a lot dictate their behavior as well.
I mean, do I want to take in Paris and experience, the beauty of Paris and museums, or am I just there to get a selfie in front of the Eiffel Tower? Right? Yeah. Josías, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's hard to control. that's the way we are sometimes. Well, not me.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the places where I go to. I don't think it's. I don't think hotels see themselves reflected. Um, I don't think it reflects the way hotels are or their brands. It would change the potentially the type of audience a hotel attracts through pricing, experiences, etc. Hotels are trying to sell more experiences as part of their brand, their brands. So there is something related to that, and I think it reflects the way the type of tourism that a specific location is willing to attract. Young people that maybe just get drunk. I don't know, or older people that potentially spends more money. So it has to do with all that. We see that a lot, like, for example, in Costa del Sol, down south in Spain, or in maybe just too many people going to I don't know, what's the name of this island? I don't remember right now. But it happens. So from a branding perspective, I do not know how it affects hotels. I do know, or I could expect how it affects countries and the local economies, because in the end there is a cost associated to the amount of money you spend fixing what other people have
broken.
destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, this article, and again, you haven't had the luxury of reading it, but the article talks about the impacts to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and I'm a little bit conflicted. I mean, because the hotels, they want to be a part of the ecosystem of the community, right? And they're housing these tourists. And we've certainly seen people going to rather somber historical locations and making silly selfies, etc. In a location that is a site of a battle, or Holocaust camp, or something like that, and people just behaving obnoxiously. And does the hotel have any kind of responsibility for that? Maybe not legally, but should they provide some kind of guidance, saying this is what it means to be a good tourist, a code of conduct. I don't know. It's an interest. I'm conflicted by it.
Well, they need to do it together.
Overall, we see the society moving a bit to that, right? Like, where people are more concerned about themselves than about their surrounding in certain areas. So I think while I don't see the responsibility by the hotels, I think there is a lot of education already before, which should have happened, parents, school, lots of things. But I think they can do a lot to help. Again, I don't see any responsibility there, but being a good host, they could give them some guidance. They could help them to enjoy the local experience even more than what they would maybe on their own, pointing out certain things to make them feel comfortable. Because sometimes people do silly things when they feel uncomfortable, rather than just purely being obnoxious out of other reasons. So
it's I mean, there was just this last week, or just a couple of days ago, of a family that were, and it was a wedding, and they were taking pictures on a dam or something like that. I don't know if you heard about that, Sean. It was in the western part of the U.S. and they slipped it was a selfie, slipped off the dam, and 4 people. It was a fatal accident. 4 people were lost. Tragic. So there are. How can you make sure that they get the most out of their travels there without disrupting the community and hurting themselves in the process? I agree, Iris. It should start way
no-
back in terms of what's
knowing how the
behavior.
suing culture is in the US, we'll soon have like a sticker on every mobile phone, you know,
Mhm.
like be sure that you cautiously take selfies or something.
Selfies. I mean, that's
In the end, it's a reflection of our cultures. I think, I think that what you said, Iris, makes a lot of sense. Because if you open an application like TikTok or TikTok, I don't know how to pronounce that in English, and you see all the videos that people upload there, they might be fun, but in the end, you see like type of a culture of what kind of things people like. It's related to. It's like the micro moments. It's not like the full experience. We like the micro moments. We can show off, basically. And it's also related to younger people, teenage years and young adults, etc. So it's a reflection of how we are, human race, and or how we are becoming. And it's more, it's, and I don't see one hotel working towards that direction. It's more like
it needs to be a collective effort, huh?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think living on the coast here in the United States for most of my life, I think a lot of times hotels have things about the effect of garbage on the beaches and the impact to the wildlife. Don't walk on the reefs. Don't do this. I think concierge and signage. I mean, usually hotels, if they are near a major destination, they know what to put about the destination. Please do not, do this XYZ because the cops will ticket you, et cetera, et cetera. But here are some key points that everyone makes these mistakes when they come to this site or this destination. Also, do not steal anything while in North Korea. I think that's definitely a big thing. If you see a photo or a picture on the wall at the hotel, don't steal it. You're on camera. You're going to get caned and thrown in jail. I think that's something we can all agree on. So, all right, we're up against a hard break. Got a big commercial. We thank all of you for coming out and participating. And
thanks everybody for another great reaction video. So I hope to see you again. Iris and Josías, always fun to talk to you too.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Enjoy.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.